Objective 5. So we're going to move on to some word problems with linear inequalities. So just making sure you're okay with a couple words. The first one is exceeds, right? Or at least, or is no less than. All of those are greater signs. So for example, Juan's age exceeds 21 would be J is greater than 21. If it said Juan is at least, so the difference is exceeds means it has to be over. At least means it can be 21 or over. So J is greater than or equal to 21. If it says Juan is no less than, then they can also be 21 and older, so greater than or equal to. And then the two other one is at most or no more than. So at most, so Mia's age is at most 10, would be less than or equal to 10. No more than would be less than or equal to 10. If it was less than 10, then you would have just M is less than 10. So these are just some examples of things that you might see. You'll know that it suggests an inequality, and you'll know that you have to put an inequality sign in. So the first example says a rental company charges $5 to rent a leaf blower plus $1.75 per hour. Marge can spend no more than $26 to blow leaves from her driveway and pool deck. What is the maximum amount of time she can use the rented leaf blower? So this is a chapter 1 test. First thing I have to recognize is that this is a word problem. Done. Second thing I have to realize is, are we talking about an inequality or an equality? And when you see this word can spend no more than, you know that we're talking about an inequality. And don't stress out too much about deciding this. They will come, and there's not going to be a lot of inequality word problems. So the majority of them will be the equality ones, but it'll be something like that that'll signify it's not an equality. Then just like every word problem, we want to figure out what our unknown is going to be. So let's write out what we know. A rental company charges $5 to rent a leaf blower plus $1.75 per hour. So the rental company charges $5 to rent a leaf blower plus $1.75 per hour. So if you rent for 1 hour, you're adding on $1.75. If you're renting for 2 hours, you're renting for $3.50. And so you have to put in this H. So I'm going to say that H is the hours rented, because that's going to signify that we're going to have a variable. And then it says that Marge can spend no more than $26. So her cost can be no more than $26. In other words, $26 is the maximum amount of money she has to spend. So the cost has to be less than or equal to $26. So the cost, we're going to say, is $5 and $1.75 per hour, and that has to be less than 26. Then we're going to solve this for H. So first thing we're going to do is subtract 5, subtract 5. You end up with $1.75. H is less than or equal to 21. And then to solve for H, you're going to divide each side by $1.75. I'm not dividing by a negative, so I don't have to flip my sign, and you end up with H is less than or equal to, I'm grabbing my calculator, 12. So therefore, she can rent for a max of 12 hours. All right, next inequality statement. Okay, so it says Abby has scores of 92, 90, and 84 on her first 3 tests. What score must she make on her 4th test in order to keep an average of at least 90? So her average has to be at least 90. So how do you calculate average? Average is that you add together all the items you have and divide by the number of items there are. So to find the average of the test scores, you'd have an average of 92, or test scores of 92, 90, and 84. And then she's got a 4th test score. And to find the average, you would divide by 4. So we are trying to solve for t. So with this one, you always do your addition subtractions first, but these are tied within a bracket. You always treat your numerator like it's in a bracket. So we're going to do our multiplication first. So the inverse operation of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. What you do to one side, you're also going to do to the other. And so then we are going to get 92 plus 90 plus 84 plus t is greater than or equal to 360. And I'm classic for doing this. I put in a variable that makes sense to me, so I didn't define it, but t is the fourth test score. So the average has to be greater than or equal to 90. To find the average, I added the 4 test scores and divided by 4. Now I'm trying to isolate for t. So I'm going to collect like terms first. So I get 266 plus t is greater than or equal to 360. So then I'm going to subtract 266 from each side. And I end up with t having to be greater than or equal to 94. So therefore, she must score at least 94 on the 4th test. All right, good luck with these.